Today is August 29th, 2025. It has been close to 2 months since my last journal entry, and this one I feel will be a lot more structured. The last one, I was going based purely off of emotions, I think, somewhere around there. I didn't know. I had like a general theme that I had thought of. Theme. Like it's a TV show. But this one is more about friends and family. And I guess you could say that sometimes they are intertwined. And for me, it gets a little difficult because when it comes to me and my family, to me, my family is pretty much alien to me. I'm gonna be honest. And I don't really know whether it's my fault or not, but I guess talking about this will allow me to figure that out. I didn't have a bad childhood, I would say. Compared to others, I would say I had a pretty good childhood. Pretty decent one, on more along the lines. And I don't know. I I barely ever see my family. I maybe see them maybe it varies, but I maybe see them like maybe once every 2 months or so. And it's just I I have some theories or whatever. Cuz I don't I still I'm still not fully sure on my feelings, and this is to kind of help with that. Um, but it's definitely complicated because I don't know. Family has always been a weird thing for me, just because I don't really have any like I don't have any bonds or connections with my family. And I think that's kind of been the way it is my whole life. Because me and my brother, we were kind of confined to our rooms, basically. Well, not confined, but like, I mean that in the way of we were never allowed to be around each other because we would constantly argue and fight. And so that led to us never really growing close. Even today. My brother is in high school, and I feel no closer to him than I have any other point in my life. And it kind of stems from him just being a dick for no reason. Everything he has to say to me is some smart ass remark or some way to just be a jerk. My mom, all I know, my parents, all I know from them is yelling. The reason why I never visit them is because every single time I visit them, I end up or every time I interact with them, I end up getting yelled at by them. Sometimes over the stupidest shit. And I feel like how I grew up around them kind of influenced how I act. And I don't like it. Because I got their yelling. I am a very loud person. But that just comes with the ADHD. That comes with the ADHD. But it gets to a point to where it's a normal conversation, and then I'm having a disagreement with someone, and then I will just start yelling or whatever. And when I shouldn't be. There was a lot of anger in the family. I had anger issues growing up. So did my dad. He still has them, and he is in his mid 40s. I have been able to cut back on it severely since I was a kid. I still have my moments, but luckily I was able to remove, not remove it. It's still there, but to lessen it by a severe margin, thankfully. And I don't know. I have come to find that I have a lot of problems, as many people do. It's a part of growing. You find your positives, but you also find your negatives. And it did not dawn on to me until today on what those problems were. I have a severe lack in confidence in myself, and I feel like that kind of shows from the last entry that I put, because every like 30 seconds or so, or like after every sentence, I would say I don't know, because I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what I was supposed to think. I didn't know what I was allowed to think. And it has just gotten to a point to where I don't know. I also just very often feel like I'm just not worthy of people's time or care. It's a it's a contributing factor to why I hate texting, just because, or I don't know. I don't know what it is about texting specifically. I hate it. I would rather talk to someone on the phone, but even then, that is just horrible. I don't know. I don't know why. The only people I'm actually really comfortable talking to is probably my friends. I don't know if there is a single family member that I am just comfortable texting or talking to on the phone. And I don't really know what that says about me, if it says anything at all. Another thing I realized that I got from my parents is a need to prove that I'm right about topics and details. Because my parents were not allowed to be wrong. It was either they're right or no one is right. Or actually, well, no, not even that. It's just they were always right. And you know that meme where it's like 10 years down the road later, you think back on on an argument that you had with your parents, and you immediately come up with like five different things that would have made your case quote unquote better. That is how I feel every week because I will think back on something that me and my parent, well, that my parents argued with with me, argued about with me, and it's not epic, not no bueno. Don't like it. And like all these problems, they have bled into my life. They have bled into how I treat and talk to my friends, and I don't like it. I don't like what it does to me, and I have been actively trying to change it. With some not having a lot of progress, unfortunately. It is pretty difficult to change. And those who say that it's not are liars. But I'm still trying. A problem that I was able to get over was the inability to say no to anyone if they asked, if they were like to ask me to do something, or they asked me for something. When I was younger, I didn't really, I don't think I got over this until maybe last year, maybe 2 years ago, when conveniently when I started living on my own. And but now it feels like I even then I'm still wrong because I I I I I'm not like saying no to everything, but the stuff that I do say no to, I I I'm I'm made to feel like I shouldn't be allowed to say no. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think this one has any relation to my parents or whatever. There's nothing I can really think of. I hate receiving gifts. I don't hate receiving gifts, but receiving a gift from someone, it has a level of uncomfortability for me. I don't know why. It's just the thought of receiving gifts from someone without me there to give something to them. It feels wrong. It feels like this should not be happening for whatever reason. This one is especially difficult because I'm trying to do a lot of personal things or whatever. The inability to ask someone to I've made a bit of progress in it, but even like the when it still happens, it fucking sucks because like the me being unable to ask someone to, like, if I asked for something like a drawing or something, and like even though I had paid for it and I had been explicitly told that if need be they can change, all I have to do is tell them. It still just feels uncomfortable to to voice my opinion. I don't know why. Not my opinion, but to give that order to to change to it feel because it makes me feel like I'm inconveniencing them, and that's the last thing I want to do is inconvenience someone, even though there are times, and I'm pretty sure we can all kind of relate to this. There have been times where I indirectly have inconvenienced someone, and I don't really know what this says about me. I don't know what any of this says about me. I don't know what to think. I don't know. And with that, it is I put other people. I don't know if this is good or bad. People say it to look like to put yourself first, and then like other people, there's other people who are like, you should always try and do others good, or no, that's not right. Comfortability, comfortability, big word. I have a tendency to put others way before mine, and it just ends up me just being uncomfortable a lot. A big one is I can be pretty hypocritical sometimes, which is another one I'm pretty sure everyone is kind of in that boat, and in that boat sometimes. But I don't know. I have a lot of anxiety. I have a lot of social anxiety. I hate being out in public. I cannot stand being in public, which it has caused me to be a loner. And I may have a possible explanation. I don't know if it's the explanation. I I was not allowed to be out on my own until I was 15. 15 years old is when I was allowed to go out on my own and do stuff. I was essentially kind of confined to the house or any friend that was within a block radius, which was 2 friends. So, not a lot of exploring that I was able to do. And I feel like with that, it had caused me to kind of be a shut-in, a loner. Not want to go out and do things. Because all I knew was being at home and I don't know, it's just incredibly uncomfortable to go out. Unless I'm with friends. Friends are what make it better. What make it tolerable for me to be able to go out. But even then, just being around people in public, random people, strangers in public, is just incredibly uncomfortable because I always feel like I am being judged, whether it be positively or negatively. I have a sense of, in my confidence, I still to this day, I feel like I am never allowed to like what I wear, or 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 my parents have, specifically my dad. My dad, he I don't think I have ever heard him say that he's proud of me or anything in that regard, because he does not like what he doesn't like what I wear. He doesn't like what I do. He doesn't like how I've never heard him comment on how I talk, but he's I don't I don't know what I don't know how to feel, because I don't hate the dude. I don't think there's a single person in the world that I have a form of hatred towards. But it's hard to it's hard to I don't know. I don't know. For the past 17 years, for the past 17 years, I have felt like I have not been worthy of to do anything or enjoy anything because of my dad not liking what I wear, what I do, what I like to do, what I like to play, what I like to watch. I got called childish by my grandpa for laughing. Let me say that again. I got called childish because I laughed. Specifically, I laugh loud. Because I laugh loud, apparently that makes me a child. I don't know. I can't really recall a single time that I think I've ever really gotten respect. But I also don't know what respect looks like. So for all I know, I probably have. But I won't know because I have no idea what that's like or what it looks like. I know how to give respect, but I don't know how to tell if I'm receiving respect. I don't know. I'm going on a tirade right now. I have diverted from what I was talking about. I don't know. I don't know. I am incredibly paranoid all the time. I the paranoia is bad, and I don't know how to deal with it because it eats at my head. I'm always paranoid on how people perceive me or feel about me. Even to the even like even with my friends, some of my close or well, who I considered at the time to be my close friends, but have kind of drifted away just because barely interact anymore. I had mentioned this in the last one. I have a friend who at one point was my best friend, but how I feel has kind of just drifted apart from me and is more going towards other people in the group, mind you. But he's interacting less with me. He's interacting less with me, and he's he interacts less with me and goes more with others in the group. And I don't know how to feel. I don't know what I'm allowed to feel because I I feel jealous. I do. I have known the dude for nearly 8 years, and I'm going to be honest, I feel a little jealous that he he never plays any games with me. He always plays the same few games. He I Very rarely do we ever bond on something. I feel like more now. I feel like more now that we've just argued or whatever, which I don't like. But the problem is, I make up like half of the arguments, over half. I'm jealous of what we once had, and I don't want to be. I don't want to be, but I am. I don't like it. It's hard. It's hard nowadays to tell who is a friend and who is just turned into a person who just so happens to be there. I don't know what any of this says about me, but I don't know. I used to be quite happy-go-lucky guy, glass half full kind of guy back in like high school and prior. And now it's like a bunch of that just left. I'm no longer the the joyful person that I used to be. Whether it be because I have thought about my life now, I've only really just now started thinking about my life and where I'm at in this point in time. I'm not I Before I said I didn't know if I'm happy. I'm not happy. I don't know. Right now I'm not happy. I'm most definitely going to forget about this after I finish this. But it feels like everything is crashing and burning, but at the same time coming up and blooming. All at the same time. Because I'm making new friends. Luckily for me, people who also share the same interests, but I'm also losing ones that I have known for quite a long time. In fact, I have lost a couple that I had known for a pretty long time. One of them for about 9 years, or around that time, a little over 8 years. And just I had to come to the realization that he just was not a good friend. I don't know. I don't I don't know what to think anymore. I don't know. I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like I'm going crazy and I'm losing grip with my own life and I don't know. I think I'm just going to end it here. I don't really have anything else to add. People are drifting, people are also coming, but family doesn't feel like family anymore. And I don't know if they ever did. I I don't know how to feel about myself. I don't know how to feel in general. I don't know if this is off topic or not, but a thing that like this I don't know. My friend I had a conversation with a friend, which is kind of why I had thought about these things or whatever, because he was talking about family and whatever, and how he feels like an outcast. That is how I feel with my own family. I feel like an outcast. I feel like I don't belong in my family, but then I also feel like I don't belong with half of my friend group. Whether it be friends who are drifting or friends who and this is I guarantee this is like 100% paranoia, but friends who seem to be interested in the stuff that I'm doing, but could not care less. People who say that they will help in stuff and be a part of stuff, but then also not even attempt to put in work or help with stuff. I feel like a shell. And that revelation has never been more apparent than when I go to funerals. I can't remember a single time that I have ever cried at a funeral. And it's not because I'm cold. I'm not heartless. I don't have I have a soul. But it's just because I've realized that time time is never at a standstill. Well, I mean, that's not entirely true, but time is time. Life is life. Life ends, life begins. Life stagnates. And I guess I don't I've come with acceptance of I've I guess I've come to terms with death. I don't know. I'm delving back into the confidence shit. I'm gonna end it off here. I don't know. I uploaded the last. I fucking made the other one public or whatever, just because I'm curious if anyone would leave anything useful for me. I don't know. I'll probably do the same thing for this one. I don't know. I guess we'll see.